What's up, everyone? My name is Liam, and welcome to the Full Circle Podcast. Today, I am joined by Brett, the lead singer of the most pretentious indie band out there, When in May. So, how we doing, my friend?
Doing phenomenal. How about yourself?
I'm big chilling today. It's like what 8:30 in the evening on the day we're recording this. I
Hmm.
got nothing done today. Sounds like a good productive day. So, on another note, tell us your story, Brett. Where'd you come from, and what's your background?
Um, When in May is a couple years old now. Our debut EP, Lying About Silly Things, came out last May, hence the name, but we started releasing music the October prior with our leading single, Cheap Red Wine. Um, that is now our leading single, followed by After the Breakup and Silhouette. Those songs were enough for us to go ahead and put out the other two songs on the EP, which is, the self-titled track, Lying About Silly Things and By Your Side. Me and Keon, who you've already had an episode with, we started working about a year prior to the release of any of those songs. And, we come from very diverse backgrounds. He was in the hip hop, reggae, country scene, and I was mostly in the alternative rock scene. So coming together, he had messaged me on Instagram, and from there we flourished a friendship that I think you can hear in our music. Um, and we started working with a lot of different artists and collaborators on the EP just to make an experience that felt like a full 20-piece band when really it's just, four guys up on stage, So um our backgrounds, I mean, I'm again alt rock, my drummer's punk, my bass player is from metal, like black metal, and our synth player, I think I found him outside of the library.
I'm sorry that took a dark turn in my opinion. Found him outside a library?
I think so.
Think so. You didn't find him on a dumpster or something? I'm kidding.
No, no, his haircut was too nicely done for the dumpster.
Okay. I guess we could say that. I haven't seen him physically, but I can see what you mean. So tell us a little bit more about the band specifically. Where did the name come from? And I mean, where'd you come up with the theme?
Um, so I guess I'll start with the name. So we found ourselves like on New Year's Eve. My old project was coming to an end that I'd signed on to, and I just wasn't having fun with it anymore. So when I started figuring out what I'd want to do, I just started dropping random names, and I stumbled upon saying "When in May," and when we said that, there's a poem, April showers bring forth May flowers. And so we obviously knew we wanted a rose to be our logo. It's the sluttiest of all the flowers. And that's where we went with that. And then, um, so yeah, that's the name. Um, and then the theme, I guess we put on a fully theatrical performance every single time we're out. Whether it just be like a very small portion of it or having it be fully immersed in a crowd interactive scenes, which you can go through our Instagram and see, um, when we bring people up on stage, and we try to give people a night to remember. I mean, here in Texas alone, speaking for the bands in Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, you might find yourself in between two acts that are just, the right eyes away from blowing up. And if you're in between both of them, how do you make a lasting impact? So I just started looking at a lot of my favorite bands and to see what they were able to do a little bit later on in their career. Um, most bands will put on the suit and give a theatrical performance, fourth, fifth, sixth album. But I kind of wanted to do something out the gate where, we're the band for the bar for the evening and we're there every single night playing. So, um, So yeah, that's where we got the theme, and then with the theatrical side of things, movie posters for the flyers, um, making everything very cinematic. It helps makes us feel a little bit more timeless. Like if you go back like 10 years, you can listen to a Megan Trainor song or a Maroon 5 song. You're like, yep, that was summer 2013, 2014. And we just try to make music that just feels like you can listen to it any time of year, in any year as well. So,
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like your music's pretty like time period neutral. Um, I mean, I've personally fallen in love with like Cheap Red Wine. I remember when you guys first had released that, it was to date probably still one of my favorite songs you guys have actually released, given that it has the most streams, I think, out of all your songs.
yes, it is like it is trumps everything else. And we've actually like put out that version a few different times now just because like once we started getting traction on that, we had a distributor reach out to us and we signed on with them. And that was something that was like, okay, like I wanna, as we had the rest of the songs lined up, we were like, okay, we need to like make this one a little bit better mix, uh, improving the instrumentation, improving the lyrics, improving the vocals, um, delivery as well. It's slight things like that that can really help set things off. And then, when you're trying to outdo yourself previously, you can find yourself like chasing your own tail a little bit. So,
Yeah, I definitely could see how that could potentially even be just exhausting, just going in the same circle over and over, just like how can I do better than the last one? And then maybe even like something you release doesn't do as well. And
mhm.
then you're just kind of chasing an endless circle of like, what the fuck do I do?
No, we
But then
got
I
we got
mean,
like I'll say that because cheap bread, we definitely, with everyone that's involved, we definitely all have our own marketing tactics. So all of us coming together on the floor was just like, okay, we'll send it to people. And then after the first month, we saw that our replay ratio was at like 2.7. So like people heard it, and a lot of people thought like when we showed it to people when I was in the demo phase, a 4 minute song, it feels like an eternity now, especially with TikTok.
sure.
Um, so people were saying it felt short at a 4 minute song, and that was definitely good to hear. Um, and we did some things that were a little bit interesting. We put the solo right in the middle. We had two different solos with the saxophone at the end, and we didn't double up the chorus. So, we were doing some things that I felt was just a little bit not too like out of the wheelhouse, but definitely interesting if you were to cue it up with other pop songs. I don't know, pop. Like we've been, it's been called 80s rock, surfer beach, teen romance. It's been called any other genre. And I guess like our goal with Win in May is, what is Win in May? The answer is yes. Like, you know, I want you to be that fan in the car that puts us on and shuffle, and whoever's listening in the car is like that. There's no way that's the same band. So,
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, your music from listening to Lying About Silly Things just goes up and down, like in the variety of what's on it. Because you have Cheap Red Wine, that's just like this happy little go-getty song, in my opinion. And then you have, By Your Side, which is like a slower acoustic feel, and then Silhouette. And then I can't remember. Isn't Silhouette more of like an upbeat song? After the breakup.
no, Silhouettes is the alt rock song. If you listen to the drums, it's just when the levee breaks sped up. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um,
Yeah,
so I mean, again, like I think everyone rips off Zeppelin or Queen. Like I mean, look at Greta Van Fleet. I mean, come on, they're just Led Zeppelin too. Which is, hey, listen, there's no beef with that. I love Led Zeppelin. I love Greta Van Fleet. So,
sure.
uh, but no, when we made that one, it was we okay. So like our first few times playing that song, I had changed the melody up quite drastically just to see how people would react. Because as we had the EP plan, we knew this was the song. I had a few different ideas for it, and I kind of let the people choose that one, which doesn't surprise me now, especially how well it's doing. It's definitely, the badass baby brother of Cheap Red. Um, and out of the three singles, it's doing the, quite frankly, at projection wise, it's going to do better than Cheap Red in a full year. Um, so we let the people kind of pick that one. So we have a lot of different versions of that song, but then one night I think I fucked up really badly on the mic. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think I fucked up the lyrics. I was like, okay, yeah, no, this is good because it was originally way more emo sounding.
Sure.
Uh, it was like I don't know, it was kind of very MCR, especially the way the belts and holds on the melody went. And then, you know, again, I feel like with Win and May, I do that talk, speak, sing thing a lot. So putting it with the rest of the EP on something like that didn't feel right. So, what we chose and what the people chose, we're definitely, again, very lucky that people decided to keep listening to us because we went a few months in between singles and we didn't even have the EP out. So, to have a listener retention rate the way we did is completely luck. Completely luck. I'm not even going to sit here and say that, we deserve it. It was completely luck because we should have fallen out of a lot of years. So we're definitely very blessed.
There's going to be a song you guys release, whether it's already released or if it's coming up, that might blow cheap red wine out of the park in the next 6 to 8 months. I have a feeling.
No, we definitely have a lot that's in store. So I'm not sure when this episode's releasing, but late October we have two singles dropping. The first one's called Living in a Dream Simulation, and the other one is Repeat Yesterday. Um, and that one comes from an older project that didn't get released for me. Um, so we're very excited about it. I mean, it already has like its own like cult following, at least here in town. Um, and then starting January, we're gonna start waterfalling singles for our second EP.
Is there going to be an album coming soon? I know y'all have been going down the route of EPs, but when are we going to get an album?
Um, you know, uh, to we're definitely trying to keep a base level of at least 10,000 listeners. We kind of go up and down. We're still growing in popularity, so I definitely see it in the cards. I definitely have a few EPs written out. Um, like in 2025, we definitely have plans to release at least double the amount of music that we did in 2024. Um, just to put that in perspective.
Sure.
Um, but also it's a matter of I don't want to set us up for failure. I don't want us to go into the studio, bust our ass for an album and, you know, uh, things just don't turn out right. So it's going to be completely just going with the flow. And I mean, trust me, there's a lot of ideas that I have and the band just kind of follows does follow me blindly after I pitch it to them. Um, because even like Brandon, our bass player, he was definitely a skeptic of Win and May when he was first starting out with us and starting to gel, and then he kind of saw like what makes me tick a bit, and then all of a sudden, he became our biggest fan, and it's kind of weird, he's a fan of the music we actually play. So, and again, he's a metal enthusiast, so um we're definitely it's we've been talking about it and what would the theme be. We do have a name picked out and we kind of know the aesthetic we would go for and the sound. Again, we have a very large sound, so would we try to make a cohesive contemporary piece for an album,
For sure.
or would people come to expect a very chaotic sound with Win and May? So it's definitely like I mean, I will say we have a lot of unreleased music. Like there's a lot. Because again, like I said earlier, where we do a bar. No, but we have if we give out like our set list at the end of the night after our shows, and there's a lot of songs that we've done maybe once or twice, and we're like, hey, we're not feeling it, and we've definitely pissed some people off. Um, I'll say that, because we have a song called Boyfriends that people have been dying to get us to release, and I just have not perfected it yet. Um,
Boyfriends. Oh,
we
am I your boyfriend now? Anyway.
I mean, there's an application. We'll get it sent off.
There's
Um,
there's an application process. Oh my God. I'd put my social security number down and everything.
Yeah, and your credit card information, don't forget the three wacky numbers in the back, okay? But there's been a few people to forget that. All right, I got an extensive Amazon list. So, just saying.
Brother's got a like Amazon wish list going on, and he's like all the people that go to my shows that want to buy me something. Here you go. Here's like $10,000 worth of things.
Listen, I've been preparing for a Mr. Beast challenge for a very long time. I'm willing to max out any card I get in my possession.
Valid, very valid.
But yeah, no, again, so we've been contemplating it. A lot of bands when they're starting out, they'll do, anywhere from 3 to 5 EPs. So I will say the idea, okay, no one quote me here, but we're gonna try to put out 2 EPs next year. Um, which our next EP is called Dynamics in the Morning, which then would follow Celebrity Weddings would be the third EP. So we definitely and I we again, if you come to our shows, you'll when people ask us when's this one coming out, I will jokingly say, yeah, that's EP 8 in like 2039. That one will come out on. But
Mhm.
no, it's like we I got into like this really big workflow in January where I just started cranking them out. um, we had a bunch of venues and bands reach out to us to start doing shows, and I'm like, oh, 5 songs, we're not going to cut it. Because especially like if we're doing like back-to-back nights, we're gonna have a lot of same fans. So we're like, okay, we gotta like. So I started coming up with like EDM tracks, some post-hardcore songs, some instrumental orchestra, hardcore, funk. I have a funk song that we're actually going to be debuting in a couple shows from now. So um again, like we just kind of just do whatever. And like my favorite bands have a very large sound, and when I play them in the car, and I'm talking like Novamore, Bleachers, Foster People, Laney, 1975, Modern Love, Milk, Joan, Milk with 2Ks, because there is a difference. um
Sure.
the, these are all bands that have a very large sound where it's like you'll be listening to one track that might be rock, and then all of a sudden they have like a ambient hip hop sound space, but delivering kind of like an alt rock melody to it. So, um, and then like Bleachers, Jack Antonoff's work. I think he's won producer of the year like 3 fucking years in a row. His
Wild.
Yeah, I mean, so and he was with Fun, so I should throw them in there as well. So yeah, no, I just again, my band has definitely looked at me pretty fucking crazy before when I said, yeah, this is going on the same EP, and they're like, what the fuck? No, you're gonna like my boy needs to learn how to read the room. All right, like, oh no, I'm the depressed bitch in the corner, you know.
Yeah, he's
Guy,
the baddest bitch in the room. Just let's be honest.
damn straight, damn straight.
I mean, I mean, one of them. I mean, they're all on like one of your covers, right? If not that, then well, yeah, they're all on your Spotify page, aren't they?
I mean, yeah,
Like
we're a
on
band,
the
of
wallpaper,
course. Yeah, I mean, of course, we're a band, you know.
right? I wasn't saying that, but
I mean, personally, have I contemplated just being a pop star? 100%. Has anyone picked me up? Hell no.
I mean, you're gonna get in a fucking speedo and maybe even like a crop top and just start singing like Maroon 5 or some shit like
Oh,
that. That just
I would have had a chance if Diddy didn't get arrested, but you know,
yeah. I mean, I think Brett, you've always had a chance no matter what. Come on. I think you've got that charm to you. What about that?
thank you. I appreciate it. And I think your editor for this video will also agree. So,
Yeah. I mean, getting back to your EP lying about selling things, what like kind of inspired the whole like I guess track of the EP, lying about silly things. Like what
um,
inspired that?
so the name kind of comes from a sense of growing up and maturing a little bit. Um, so I will say it's when you look back on your life, and at least this is from me speaking, it was you look back at certain situations and you just think to yourself, wow, that was stupid to lie about. Like Like that was just like, man, why did I do that? And it's just a sense of maturity where you can just take a second to laugh at yourself, um, which the name Lying About Sleep Things kind of originated from. And the title track of the EP, I wanted to be the most sincere lyrics on it. And because like let's say like you're being introduced, and when we do our rollout campaign, we're emailing people, and if you're listening in order, these are the first words you're going to hear. Um, and it was just again like they kind of sound like random thoughts, but they roll so well together. And I remember like again, this is another song that has like 80,000 different versions of it,
For sure.
Um, lyrics that I was sending absolutely everybody like, hey, what do you think of this? And everyone's just like, I approved like the last 30. You fucking figure it out. Um, but rolling with the set list, we had already rolled out the three singles. And we did it in order: Cheap Red, After the Breakup, Silhouette. So we're like, okay, obviously that's like the middle. I wanted to begin on the most sincere note and end on the most sincere note. Well, like these songs are like, so if you're in the club, in the car, by yourself, whatever, these are the songs that you could sing along, dance to, drive to, whatever. But in the moment of intimacy that you would probably have with yourself, lying about silly things, I wanted to be the most pretentious track for a reason.
Sure.
Again, like we had orchestra that kind of starts us off. The solo on the end is very much Brian May from Queen. That we wanted that. Um, and then by your side, again, you can call it like an acoustic track, but we have a lot of electric slide, piano, and violins that are just going throughout the whole background, right? So, um, you know, we just wanted to when we were making it, we wanted to start the EP with something new and end with something new. And I don't know, I always feel like you want to end your EPs or your albums on your most important note, um,
For
or at
sure.
least your best song. And to me, like By Your Side is my best song. It's the most vulnerable I think I've been in a track. So, um, I mean, and it's not a sexy song by any means. It's very, very depressing, very depressing, and very like very sad if you like know the story of the song. So
I don't think I even know the story of the song, and I've known you forever.
yeah, this is true now. Yeah, this is the I got this interview by complete nepotism.
Yeah, definitely.
I I'm gonna have to get tattoos now.
you're gonna, you're gonna get that like a bunch of emo and pink emo and punk related tattoos and just all around you and just be like, you
Ugly.
know, just embrace MCR, dude. Come on.
I'm gonna look like an MGK body double reject.
Ew. Don't get pink hair if you do that.
Does he have pink hair?
Or I mean I also haven't looked at him in forever, so I could be very wrong.
I try my best not to. When he pops up in movies that I'm watching, I'm like, no, that was a jump scare.
Yeah, I mean like let's be honest, he's a wannabe anything, let's be honest. That's a hot take. Like, let's be honest, that's a hot take.
I
But
don't think it's a hot take. I think he has a lot of haters, but it's like Taylor Swift. I've never personally met a Swiftie, but they're out there.
I've
So
seen too many of them personally, and I want to be graceful when I say I hate them, and I mean this very kindly.
you can
But
hate
I
the fan.
fucking hate you. I fucking hate you.
You know,
Fucking
you
hate Swifties.
no, you can not like the fans of something. Like I'll definitely say like for me, I like 21 Pilots. I do not respect their fans. Like
Sure.
they're just I don't know. We'll
What
let
what
the
what about them don't you like, or what about them that you don't like,
uh
or
so we'll let the editor first of all decide to stays in there. We'll see how bad I dig myself a PR hole. But um so what I'll say is there's a lore to the band, and the fans won't let you just like the music. They will try to force the lore of everything on you, which I totally understand. It's like Ghost. There's a lot of lore. Um, but like you're not forced to enjoy the lore. You can just go to the shows and be like, damn, he's a fucking weird little guy singing some weird songs. I dig it. And then naturally I got I was like, okay, yeah, I can respect, the stage plays. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see like what's the lore. Why is it that this guy comes out in a coffin and saxophone? Who is that? No, that's his fucking dad. It's his dead dad from decades ago. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, so like
For
I would
sure.
say like 21 Pilots, they forced you to enjoy the lore and like they had to make a song saying like, can you please like not hate the new fans? We're the reason why we can afford to make more music. So
Right. Like gosh, like I
like
don't
a
know. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like my whole thing is I don't understand when a fan base tries to force that kind of stuff upon you. It's like, dude, just let me fucking enjoy the music. Like,
right? Like the music's how you get there, you know?
exactly. And maybe after a certain point of loving him, do I look up the lore and kind of indulge in it? And do I want to be a part of it? Sure. I mean, fuck it. Like, let it be up to that person, in my opinion. I'm just being dead honest when I say that.
No, I respect that.
So getting back into When in May,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Uh,
best band in the entire world, or the worst band in the entire world, I don't know. We
it
haven't
depends.
decided that part yet.
It depends on your perspective.
Sure,
We
sure, sure.
we've made our fair share of enemies. So
Yeah. I mean, any band does. Come on. Um,
yeah.
so in the future, I know we already kind of dived into this a little bit, but in the future, what themes are you looking to go into with your songs or subjects at least? Um,
I mean,
obviously keeping the same black and white theme of When and Me.
well, I'll definitely say like with like how film has gotten better and better, you can kind of expect that. Like we're not going to saturate, I guess, our own market on something. So like with our funk song, like that wouldn't work with black and white. Obviously we would probably do a more colorful music video and start introducing some splashes of color here and there, just as far as like themes. Uh, but also not saying we won't ever go back to something. I'm definitely like EP one and two, we made at the same time, and it was just trying to figure out what am I going to put on what. Um, so like I guess like my thing was like, okay, if the fans are gonna like lying about silly things and by your side, if they like those two tracks, they're going to absolutely love EP two. And it's like I had to throw that hook out there and see where they bite. Um, Themes and subjects. When I write, I try my best not to name drop a time period of when I wrote it, because again, I do want people to feel like they can listen to this at any time. So like obviously, I try not to name drop like celebrities or corporations in when I'm writing. I try not to. If I'm doing a pun, like in Cheap Red, where I'm like, oh, there's not enough drugs to make us hug. I'm not saying Viagra, right? I'm not saying like Nugenics or Hims or Blue Chew sponsor me. Um, um, but yeah, as far as like themes and subject matters, I do my best not to like timestamp lyrically where we are. Again, like I said, like I will try to be word around it. If you know the know, then you know, but also you don't have to still enjoy the song. Um, so like I will say like lying about silly things is, you know, a good idea where I'm gonna go. Subject wise, I don't feel like there's too much off the table when it comes to making music and art. Um, I mean, clearly, like there's some subjects you shouldn't touch, like that goes without reason, but um, it really does come down to a lot of emotion. How am I feeling with a certain track? Because I'll go into a track with some ideas. In like this next EP, we have a song called "Well, I Muttered I Love You," and that one was supposed to be, because I went into it with the idea like, okay, I want like a dance track. Like it's slow builds, but it kind of was like a simmer. It was simmering the whole time, building up, and then all of a sudden it becomes this like kind of like cafe jazz vibe song where it's like not really like gonna blow up the club, but it's like everyone in like the cafe is just like nodding their head, kind of jamming. So, you know, vibes, tones, whatever. I feel like there's out of all the genres, I don't think Winnie Mae is ever gonna do rap. reggae, um, death metal. There's
Hmm.
just some tracks that I'm not equipped to do. Um, Now, granted, like, do I love those genres 100%? But there's just some things that I don't think I could personally touch. And I may be wrong. You may get the Win and May diss track EP when we're far retired. It's just me horribly rapping over a free beat I found on YouTube.
Yeah, I would totally just try to be a dick and start doing a little bit of a rap, but I'd embarrass myself pretty quick.
No, no, it's all right. It's all right.
I mean, I would totally try to just do it for humor's sake, but
Are you like asking me to back you, like, so you feel hyped up?
no, 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 no. I want. How about this, Brett? Come up with some. Do some rap right now, bro. Come on.
Me?
You're the
Man,
musically inclined one.
I let's talk about you. You're the music podcast host.
Hey, man, I play the cello. Okay, I'm just a fucking sad little string player. Let's be honest.
You're I think you're more than this sad. I think you're musically inclined. I think you can.
Hey, man, I play the cello. That's it.
I
Doesn't mean
think
I'm musically inclined. Now, to the fucking basic standards of what you'd call someone musically inclined, sure, I fit under that category, but I don't think I'm a musically inclined in the sense of making music.
I mean, so is Seth, but he's in a band. So, you know.
I mean, but then you like, but look at it though. Like, yeah, like we can ignore the fact that I have a whole like library full of songs I've written of them, but still,
Listen, I will be the first in line to buy the Liam vinyl.
yeah. I
I
mean, I,
would.
I think we'll start with CDs first, but still,
No, I want you to go into immense debt right away.
sure. We're gonna, you know, we, I mean, I can go ahead and admit that on merch. How about that?
There you go.
I could spend like $10,000 on stocking up on merch and be like, okay, guys, whenever you want to buy some merch, just let me know on Instagram.
Yeah, just let me know. Yeah, right now. I'll tell you what, I'll pay you to wear it right now.
Anyway, uh, but yeah, no, I mean, I feel like any genre of music isn't out of your category. Now, Brett doing some death metal, I'd love to see that in my future. Let's be honest.
The
Fucking the re. I'm sorry,
closest thing
what?
the closest thing you're gonna get to that is repeat yesterday. All right, that's gonna be the closest. You're
Yeah.
you're gonna you're
Well,
gonna and I absolutely struggled to even talk right after. So good luck to me trying to play that live.
for sure. I totally would love to see you do something like
I know you'd
what
love to
is
see it.
it? I mean, I'd love to see you in a lot of ways, baby girl. Let's be honest.
Dibs on the little spoon.
Oh yeah. But I'm trying to think of my brain's blanking on bands right now. But I mean, I'd love to see a Thy Art Is Murder, front band with Brett Fitzpatrick. Let's be honest.
I mean,
Like,
hey,
let's be honest.
out of the nothing's out of the wheelhouse. Never seen never in the entertainment business.
Exactly. Let's put you with a vocal coach for the next 5 years, and then that is your time frame on releasing a death metal album.
It's like Nico Avocado. He disappeared for a few months and came back a whole new person. Yeah, I'll just do that.
You are,
I'll a bunch of music.
but I mean, definitely like I don't know. I just feel like the media kind of just ate that shit up, like or not even the media, but fan base. I feel like he just couldn't take the like bullying anymore, and he probably just decided, hey, I'm gonna lose it.
I don't know, man. If you watch his like content, it definitely feels like there's like a shit ton of satire in it. So I'm just like, either he really did it to be two steps ahead, or he lost the weight. No matter what, that takes a undeniable amount of determination and pettiness to do it just for either of those reasons. So you got to respect game.
Yeah, but game got to respect game. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, we already know why you like it because it's satire. Potentially,
Yeah, I hope it is.
you hope it is.
For my mental health, I can't have another Christian incident.
Okay, fair,
Like
fair.
for my mental health, I just want to believe the world's a bit better than what that is.
Yeah, we all want to believe the world's a better place than it is. Let's be honest. That's why the all the different various industries in the world and the working world, whether it's entertainment or industrial or corporate in any way. They want to make everything look beautiful, even though it really isn't.
Hmm.
But getting back to When in May, because When in May is just
My
rock
episode.
hard. I get rock hard every time I listen to him. Anyway, uh,
Trust me, when I know my
you.
song streamed, I get a little chuffed.
Oh yeah, definitely. So on another note, live shows. Let's talk about that,
Okay.
since that is one topic we haven't covered yet. What is your favorite live show you've played so far?
Oof. Okay. So we did a show at Black Magic Social Club, and it was shoulder to shoulder, which was very, very fun. I mean, granted, like when you do a lot of shows in one city, you lose the rarity where people feel like they have to come see you. So the fact that we had a lot of people shoulder to shoulder, even during sound check, we had like a lot of people there, and we did like Big Loud, right? We're like, okay, that's the most complicated one. We'll make sure we sound good for that, and then get off stage. We got amazing pop. And then we did a White Swan show March of this year that was pretty loud. Um, with some there were some other bands there that were pretty good, and you know, we got a loud pop. I mean, we got the biggest fan reaction from us doing the interactive bits. Um, and then again, I guess I would say like our latest White Swan show that we did in August that went off really well, and that's where we met you know bands like Honey Rot, Hysteric Air, Static Slums, The Inhalers. Um, then there was also another great band there, Valhalla. They were really great as well. Hopefully, I'm not forgetting anybody, and if I am, they're equally as great. We've been playing, and we have a lot more shows planned with the bands we just said as well. So we're very much looking forward to doing shows with them. Um, so yeah, I mean, when people like because then and I'll also say another great show we did was May 31st. It was our EP show. So we played the whole EP along with a lot of new stuff, and people knew the words to Cheap Red. That was so much fun. And you can actually see the slide on our Instagram where, I'm holding the mic to them. I'm like, yeah, fucking scream it. And they were singing the wrong lyrics. They were singing the wrong
My
lyrics. I'm
God.
like, fuck, so was I. I'm like, oh, I'm going off of you. What the fuck? Um, so yeah, no, but again, just people having a good time at your show, it will make you feel great. And there's a lot of shows where I feel like I did like personally bad or I didn't perform like I think I could have, or maybe I got a little too drunk. Um, but then people come up to you after saying, "Hey, that was an absolutely amazing set," and I'm like, "Wow, thank you." So it again, I guess with each show comes new challenges, new friends. Potentially, you may lose friends at some shows. It's a scene, music's cutthroat, but um, it's like, well, what would I be doing if not this? So
Definitely. So, as we were mentioning, we were talking about how crowd engagement and just enjoyment of the fans and all that during the shows is the key points to your success at your shows. Is there any like key things that you're looking forward to with shows going forward, or at least shows in the future that you're hoping could rise new opportunities for that?
it's definitely just making connections with other bands. Venues, I will say at least around here, don't really care about what music you play. They want you to bring a crowd. They want you to be easy to work with. Um, so that's our main goal is just to be as friendly as possible with new bands, help them where they can. But also like I'm looking very much for because we have a show coming up with the Inhalers at a place called 1810 Ojimon. It's one of the premier venues here in Houston. Then we're gonna have a few shows of White Swan, which again is historic here in Houston. Um, and then again, we have a bunch of shows. You can go to our Instagram. We kind of keep them current shows, at least in order, that are coming up. And I mean, we're booked until December of next year. That's how far out we've been trying to stay booked and stay busy. We were originally going to take from October, the end of October to beginning of January off, but we just started getting a lot more opportunities from venues that have ignored us from past projects on my end. on my drummer's end. So, we wanted to take it without, losing that chance. So, um, and then again, like once we started thinking of that break, what would we do? And it's like, well, damn, like we don't, this is what we do. So I guess like when something becomes your whole identity and you've been working on it so long, you either lose what made you prior or this consumes you and that this is what you become. But I'm definitely very much excited for every time I take that stage.
Sure. I mean, I could definitely see like a break, for example, could be like a good time to refine and work on your music, like solely focus on it. Take all that energy of using at live shows and putting it towards refining and, perfecting your music. I think that would be a really, that's at least something I've seen a lot of artists do.
Yeah. I mean, in like the month of September, we kind of just focused on music. We ended strong. So we're taking a month and then we have a bunch of shows. I think like 10 shows within the next 2 months, which is a couple per week. So uh we get to see our friends. So that's what really matters to us. And the possibility of always making new friends with this is, very high. So,
There's
it never want to cancel a show.
definitely, I definitely can see a lot of that. What's your next upcoming show? What's the next date? What's the next date? Come on.
The next date is October 4th at Super Happy Funland. We are going to be playing with a lot of new faces that we've yet
Nice.
to stage and some familiar ones. So I'm actually going to pull up the flyer real quick because, I don't want to get anybody's names wrong.
For
Uh,
sure. I would
so
like to add that that's also the night that the second Joker movie comes out. So instead of going to your show, I'm going to be at the movie theater spending a absurdly amount of money to go see that. If
hey,
you're in the $30 bucket of popcorn.
I hope you enjoy it because I'm not going to see that movie. Looks
Why?
it looks bad. It's a musical.
It's- I don't fucking care. The Joker's my favorite character. I relate to him the most because I'm so fragile and broken inside because all I listen to is emo and sad music.
Um, okay, so back to the
Anyway,
back to the
what bands are you playing with next, man? What are your next shows? What are you playing? Who are you playing with?
I am going to be playing with Greetings from the Underpass, who is a kind of an acoustic emo uh solo artist. Again, great fella. They're terrific, and we've worked with them for a few shows now, so I can't really say anything bad. And we enjoy them enough to keep on wanting to listen to their songs. We're gonna be playing with a band called Padlock. That's gonna be completely brand new for us. We've never played with them. Then there's a band called I Hate Myself and I Want to Die, um, which I would assume by the name goes for that type of emo rock vibe. Haven't been able to take a chance to personally listen to them, but with our booker at Apollo, terrific music taste. And again, we are always front row for the bands that are playing before and after us. So I'm very excited, especially if you have a fucking great band name, the music's good. If it's a shit band name, it's gonna suck. So I would say that's a pretty, on the nose
Panda
name. And
Pussy. That sounds like a really shitty band name, but I feel like it would slap.
then there's Dead in America, which super friendly guys, and then another band from the Skies, and they've been super friendly as well. So um, definitely really looking forward to. I mean, that's four new bands we're working with, so I'm very excited. And then directly after that is a show we're doing October 12th with the Inhalers, Static Slums. um, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting my band names right. I believe it's also dressed as Pandas we're doing a show with, which we've done a few shows with them prior. Um, I think two shows now. This would be the third. And then the Deadly Blooms. So, and again, like everyone's dressing up for these next few shows as well. So, if you want to come out and see, perhaps somebody will probably dress up as a Joker on stage. So if you want to make it out.
Yeah, I mean, personally, you mentioned all these band names, and now I gladly will say I'm gonna now go have a whole list of bands to check out now. Thank you for, mentioning all those.
I mean, again, like when we post our flyers, or you can check our tag photos. Great people. that we've worked with almost every single night. Um, Again, I can't sit there and say anything too horribly about any of them. I've seen a lot of bands recently either overcome like sound engineer or a bad mic or the PA fritzing. So we've seen some acts where they just push right through. Um, and again, we've become really close with the Inhalers and Static Slums, and we have like I think three more shows booked with them. So
That's great. I'm glad they see that and hear that you're having a whole bunch of a variety of bands kind of just come around and I guess you could say support you in your act or just support each other.
yeah, support each other. I mean, the shows that I guess like you can say like, oh, this is the Win and May show, and then, like when we post like, yeah, this is what we're sure showcasing our show when we post our photos. Um, but like again, if you check out like Apollo's page, or if you check out their pages and stuff like that, we all support each other. And again, like Houston is the fourth biggest city in the United States. So there's new bands constantly on the merge, and the scene is always changing. And there's been some people that have been in the scene for 5, 10 years that are still doing local shows, and they're awesome. They rock. And then you have newcomers. So like you're almost guaranteed to either be working with an old head or somebody new. So yeah, that's what's really great. And again, like with Honey Rod, they're coming from Laredo, which is 5 hours from Houston. So playing with them was a dream come true. You know, again, they're an act that really goes off of aesthetic. Um, so just from that standpoint alone, we respect each other, even though we're kind of very different in genres that we have out at the moment.
For sure. I love Honey Rot. They're a very good band and I love their music. Um
Yeah, when
you know,
he
I had
told
the
me,
chance. Sorry, you go.
oh no, he told me when he sold me his music, but he's like, okay, it's Tejano music mixed with MCR. I'm like, well, I grew up in a very Hispanic area, so that just brought me back to like my childhood. So on both
Yeah, it's
facets.
that's great. That's great that actually he could do that for you. He was probably really happy to do that. And for at least from I'm assuming so based off what how he talks and how I've talked to him. So, but yeah, he's an amazing guy. I love Jorge from Honey Rot. Shout out to him. Amazing guy. I did a podcast with him. At least we're basing this off the time of recording this, but I think about a couple in the last week or two, I did an episode with him, and it was nothing but beautiful things.
Awesome.
Uh, but like I'm trying to think, what's your favorite band that you've performed with and locally?
My favorite band that I have performed with, I know I'm gonna sound a little biased, but I'd probably say again like Inhalers, Static Slums, Honey Rot. I mean they came all the way out from Laredo and they definitely killed it. Again, Jorge, he's meant to be on that stage. I don't like. I will slaughter the world if he has to work a regular day job. Um, let's see. And again, I guess like I can say like I'm probably the type of person that after my last show, I'm like, oh yeah, no, these guys are my new favorites, right? Because it was like, oh, it's so great, you know. So yeah, I would definitely say those guys, Valhalla, who was originally known as Poison Apple, great band as well. Um, so who else? Who else? Greetings from the Underpass. Really enjoy his tunes. The Causaways is another great act. A Mode is another great act. They've actually helped us get into some articles and stuff like that. So they've definitely been a great help. Um, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's I know I'm no I'm gonna get messages by like, oh, you didn't mention us, you must hate us. And it's like, no, I don't. I would say like Zombie Muscle was a good band that we played with up in Austin. Plum Tongue, we also played with them in Austin. Um, they're in Dallas. We had a band called Culper Ring that was pretty good that we really enjoyed playing with. San Antonio, Joe the Band, Toda Spooky, Lemon Trees. So, and then, we're currently talking to some bands in Tennessee, Florida, and Atlanta that, we want to go out and play shows there. And obviously, we don't have any fans. So, we're going to their people, to their home turf. So, um, you know, again, so there's a lot. I can really keep going if you give me the time of day. So,
Sure. I mean, like, it sounds like you have a lot of bands on your arsenal, and that's amazing, honestly, to know that many people because that could be very useful in your future. And I'm very happy for you that you get to connect and get to know these people that share the same
yeah,
passions as you.
yeah, and again, like the bands I just mentioned, if you ever need podcast people, go just hit them up. You know, these are very friendly and kind, tender souls.
I will gladly do so. You send me a list, I'm done. I'm gone. I'm already send the messages. I mean, I'm already doing it right now in my head. But yeah, I mean that's amazing that you have so many bands around you for that. And I mean, in my opinion, it must feel like exhilarating, assumingly that at least that's how I'd imagine you'd feel with that many bands around you.
No, of course, and like again, like then like after the show with Inhalers, we also have another one on the 18th. That's gonna have the Causaways again, Inhalers again, Hysteric Air again, another great band. Um, Grandstand Highway have actually invited us out to quite a few shows. I think we're doing a grand total of 3 to 4 shows with them just before the end of the year. The Midnight Papers, I think, is an awesome name. So I'm very much again like when a cool band name, you got to be a little bit excited. So I will say like sometimes I do purposely wait to hear them live because like if I see like they have a cool aesthetic or anything like that, I kind of want to like wait and be thoroughly shocked and surprised when they grace the stage.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I need more bands to listen to personally, so I'm so glad you've been mentioning all these. And I'm also a person that says that I really don't judge a band based on like a lot of things until I see them live because I feel the persona that they lead on with like their aesthetics and everything just comes out when they go on a live show. And if they can be the band that they are advertising to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like that's something I've always said about like with my band's music is for streaming purposes, this is the invitation why you should come buy a ticket. This is why you should come out for a night. Um, because like again, like personally for me, I don't believe that Win in May is worth a 50 to $100 ticket, like $10. Um, and we've actually some venues and some bookers, who have tried to charge like 20 for like a 5 band bill. I would say straight up like, hey, we think like our fans don't need to get charged that much if they're going to come see us, support us, buy a drink at the bar, buy merch, things like that. Um, because that's the biggest thing is the time investment. Not a lot of people get a lot of off time. So if you work a full time job and you want to come see us, we want to make sure that it's affordable, have a good time, and we're surrounded by other great acts. So, and again, if it's the tickets are on the cheaper side, you can help provide a family outing for a nice price. So,
For
which I wouldn't say,
sure. And
don't bring little kids to some local shows. All right, like obviously go in do your research as a parent. But I'm just saying, if you want to go out with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your partner, whatever, we try to make sure that it's affordable.
understandable. I feel like concerts these days are way too expensive in this day and age. I feel like the music industry and all that has kind of spiked up the price of shows, but I also think we should also blame Ticketmaster for all that. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, like when it comes to just ticket sales in general with third party services, it's I mean, you're buying from a bot that already bought it. You can't like a lot of the scalpers have uh written scripts on their computers to auto buy at certain price points and to resell at certain price points. So, you're going against you have a lot of things going against you. Like the Oasis concert, like again, I know they're not coming to America. Supposedly, let's see. We'll see if they fight each other over at their home turf. But um, if they do come to America, I can only expect nosebleed tickets to be 2 grand. So
That's disgusting. 100%. I don't. I mean, it's getting to a point now. I think like I'm seeing nosebleed seats or even lawn seats going for like $50 a piece, and you're just
yeah.
sitting there and you're just like, holy shit! Like just to sit in the fucking grass, like it's like, dude, I can't even like in some venues you can't when you're in the grass, like the audio quality is shit sometimes. Like even for really good acts, like let's be honest, like you're sitting in the grass and everything's just fucking mumbled or muffled in some way, shape, or form where it's not like authentic of what it actually sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, again, like most people or most bands, I'll say like for us, we try our best to, like if it sounds like shit on the phone, it might sound like shit on bad headphones. So you try your best to mix accordingly, but like there's some bands like clearly if I know I can't get a good ticket and this is their first time in town, I might still just buy a ticket and go because they might have that's another reason for them to come back is to get my money. Like again, like bands now are traveling t-shirt salesmen, right? Let's be honest here. That's
Sure.
you don't make anything off of streaming. YouTube doesn't, help musicians. They try to go for more comedy and content creators than music. Um, we go off of that. Um, so yeah, like again, like it depends on the band. Like obviously, if it's a smaller indie band, like there's not really gonna be a bad seat. But like here we have the Woodlands, Cynthia Woods Pavilion. So there's a lot of grass seats and it's meant for music, but I've gone to a few shows out there and I can say like, yeah, it definitely sounds like I'm in the bathroom listening to the band rather than
Exactly.
so.
I understand that clearly. There's so many good venues you can go to that will just have that experience, and it's like they advertise such a good experience, and then you get that, and it's like, why the fuck did I spend $50 on a lawn seat?
Mhm.
Come on. I mean, for like $100 more, I could have been sitting in a seat.
Right? I
It's
don't know,
I
maybe
mean, it's only $100.
I don't know, maybe my bones are starting to give out on me, but like I'll definitely say like doing standing rooms suck. Like I understand like wanting to be in the pit sometimes, but fuck man, I like that chair. Especially between acts.
Agreed.
It's like fuck man, like I don't want to stand all day. I'm here for a
Exactly.
bit.
I mean, I'm one that I'm way too young to be having, I guess, like knee like and leg problems. I am because of just incidents that have happened in the last couple of years. And I was at an Ice Nine Kills and In This Moment concert
Mhm.
like in the last couple of weeks. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do general admission because the venue is like 90% general admission. Like if you want to get an actual seat, you're paying about triple to quadruple the price of a general admission ticket.
Yeah.
And I mean, after like Ice Nine Kills or something. Like that was the third band. I mean, by even like third of the way into their set, my legs were just cooked. I was fucking done. Like
Dude, I can
my
imagine.
body, and it was like in this moment was just coming on, and I mean, I gave up like my second or third row like general admission spot just to go find like a table to lean on or something because I couldn't stand up anymore. It was
Fuck.
ridiculous. But speaking of live concerts, is there any bands that you've loved to see live, like that you've seen or maybe even aspire to see?
Um, so I would say probably my favorite concert was the 1975 at their very best tour. Um, because again, it was that pretentious, problematic theme. It's like, yes, we're at the very best. We're your favorite band. We know, we know, we know. Then I got to see Laney on the GGBBXX tour, which was fucking phenomenal. Um, there's some bands I haven't gotten to see that are definitely on my favorites. Like I would say Milk, Joan, Modern Love, Nova More. Bleachers I really wanted to see and I missed my chance when they rolled through. They rolled through Austin. But we were busy with Windermere at the time. So I'm definitely hoping for I mean he's a bigger name now, Jack Antonoff. So hopefully, they might roll back around. Cigarettes After Sex would be a fun one to see as well. Ghost, Ghost BC. That's a concert I regret not going to. I think I got into them just a little bit after they came to Houston, and I watched the movie. I watched the Right Here Right Now movie. Fucking phenomenal. I recommend watching it if you haven't. Um, Again, that's something you don't need to know the lore of Ghost to enjoy the film. Uh, so yeah. Again, I don't know if I said Joan yet, but they're up there. They're a two-piece band that I don't know. I guess you could say it's similar to like 21 Pilots, but they make different genres of music. Um, and then Jesse Ruthford from The Neighborhood, he just put out his third solo album. He got signed by Atlantic Records, and it's fucking phenomenal. So I'm hoping if he does any shows, hopefully he comes to at least one town in Texas. So
Fingers crossed for you. Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of the shows that I've wanted to see this year. There's like one or two artists I've loved to see live, but unfortunately they don't tour at the moment. Or at least they're at a stage where they really can't tour or it's just not their thing at the moment.
yeah, no,
And
and
I'm just
I've
so
noticed
many
like
great bands that miss that
after
opportunity.
yeah, like after COVID, a lot of bands are just like, yeah, we'll record live performances and you can watch it that way. And I noticed a lot of bands now do that. Like Nova More, because I got into him during 2020. We know what happened then. Um, but he definitely does more like recorded shows, and he's on tour right now. But I don't think he even thought about coming to Texas. Again, you go where your streams are. That's how that makes the most sense. So,
For sure.
like I remember
And I
back in
mean,
I say
sorry.
remember back in the 80s like I was fucking alive. But no, like back in the 80s when like Iron Maiden would do just state tours or AC/DC would do a whole ass state tour, take a break, another state tour, and just keep doing shit like that and hit up all the major cities. I don't think we're gonna see an act quite like that. Like I know like if you're in California, obviously like if you're Taylor Swift, you're gonna hit up San Francisco, Bay Area, Los Angeles. You're gonna hit up those types of cities. Um, but then, like when you come to Texas, you're gonna try to just do Austin. Austin, Houston is if you're really, really big. I've noticed.
I mean, yeah, personally, yeah, I've been to Houston a couple times. Always wanted to go to Austin, by the way. Always wanted to. But I've been to Houston like twice, and to me, it's not the stellar in the world. That's just my
It's
opinion.
it's home. So
Fair, fair, but I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a stupid thing to ask, but venue wise, what's the difference between Austin and Houston, like venue wise?
I'll say it's definitely the same. Um, Up in Austin, I will say like if Win and May was in Austin, we would probably be more busy. When we got invited out there, we immediately started getting more offers because it's a lot more dynamic scene. Houston, you're definitely going to have a higher punk and hip hop scene. You have venues that are just punk, just hip hop. So trying to find a venue that will allow other acts to kind of sneak in there, I guess it can get quite competitive. Um, and then especially get like, if you're doing the punk scene clearly, you're not going to have hip hop, you're not going to have indie rock, you're not going to have R&B, vice versa as well. So in Austin, it's a way more diverse. So, but also again, hard to get into because a lot of people um, would quit their jobs, sell everything, move to Los Angeles. Now Austin's becoming that place as well. So, it's again the scene everywhere is competitive. Just make friends, make connections, and you'll get somewhere.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just thought I'd ask that question. I mean, I've tried looking around and I just tend to find more people in the Houston area than anything. At least in my experiences. Maybe I'm not looking in the under the right rocks, but
I mean, you definitely got to know the know. You can only do so much research online.
fair. I mean, have you performed in Austin before? I
Yes,
mean, you've answered that, but yeah,
we actually played at the Sapien Center, which is a multimedia complex. We were one of the I think we were the third night of the grand opening. And my God, there was a lot of people there just mingling, talking to. It was great talking to the other acts, doing merch swaps, obviously. Especially like up there, you want to try to do as much as possible because you don't know when the next time it is you're gonna be back and if you're gonna play with those guys again. Again, music's one of those scenes that you're just constantly in this revolving door of like, is this band gonna stick around? Or are they not? I'm not meaning that like disrespectfully or anything. It's just music is very expensive and it's very hard to continue to do. And then also, you have social media burnout because becoming a musician now, you have to be a content creator as well. And there's some bands that have gotten away with scarcely posting. We only really post about like our shows and upcoming music. Um, so we know we're putting ourselves at kind of a disadvantage, but we're not sitting there complaining that it's the world's fault that we're not discovered. It's we know how algorithms work. We're just choosing not to do it a certain way. So,
Sure.
so we're just trying to, you know, go to more newer places, like Sapien Center. When they invited us out, they didn't have a booking manager at the time, so we were bouncing around with like three or four people. It went dark, and then like, hey, so sorry. Hi, my name is Robert, and then phenomenal experience. And again, I do recommend Sapien Center. It's a gym, it's a lounge, it's a cafe, it's a bar, it's a music venue. So it's really really cool. We got a private tour of the place, and we got to use the facility for free. And they even offered us to stay there overnight if we did feel like driving back. So it's like again, really hospital people.
That's great. I mean, hospitality is all you can ask for in a place like that, in my opinion. I mean, especially when you're driving all the way out there. I don't know what the drive is, maybe a couple, like 2, 3 hours.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, it feels like that in a lot of areas. You could drive quite a bit, and it's like you're in the same place. Like Missouri feels the same way to me because
right.
I can drive like 2, 3 hours in like south and somewhat depending on what route I take. I mean, still in the damn state.
Be like them.
Where if you go somewhere like in the western, like southwestern part of the states, you get somewhere where you can, go 4 hours one way, be in a different state, then be 2 hours in a different direction, be in a different state, and it's like I don't know. I mean, given I'm in St. Louis though, so I mean, if I really wanted to, I can go to the next state over in 30 minutes, but that's only if I really wanted to. On the After the topic of asking what some couple of concerts you would have loved to see, um, assuming I might get the same answers, what are some of your favorite artists to listen to in your free time?
Um, so again, like my two favorite bands of all time is Laney, 1975. But Ghost is in there, MCR, Nova More, Milk, Modern Love, Joan, The Girl Talk, The Rove. Um, again, Honey Rot has made their way into my rotations. It was a Brat summer. All right, it was a Brat summer, so I'm a Brat girly. Charlie XCX is in my rotations. Sabrina Carpenter is also in my rotation. Again, Please 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 is a fucking awesome track. Musically is so interesting. Um, Bleachers again, another staple of mine. God, Queen. I do have a lot of inspiration from Queen in my tracks. Um, Who else? Kiss has some Kiss in there. AC/DC. A lot of Journey recently. I don't know why. But Faithfully has been constantly. I've been crying for no reason. I'm in a perfectly one of the best states of my life currently, and when I listen to Faithfully, I'm like, God damn it! I don't even know who I'm crying over, but I'm crying. Um,
I'm bawling my eyes out because
it's
this
like,
song made me.
um, like I said earlier in the podcast, Jesse Ruthford dropped a amazing uh single album away from the neighborhood called Wanted question mark. There's another band that I've been listening to. I think is local to me. I don't know. So ignorance on my part. It's called The Silhouette of Nude, and the song's called Drop the Mind that I've been listening to. So yeah, I've been listening to that quite a lot. Pale Waves I've been listening to. Motley Crue. Rex Orange County dropped a new album called the Alexander Technique. That's a fucking amazing record. No skips, like for me. Um, so I definitely been like really happy with music lately. So I've yeah, again, I've been really spoiled, and there's a few other bands that are dropping some albums soon that I'm already looking forward to.
I love that. Yeah, because I think there's been a lot of bands releasing music recently. Even on like my radar of music. I mean, by the way it sounds, me and you have similar music tastes, but artist wise, very different. Uh,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I have MCR and my rotation and all that kind of stuff. But outside of
Oh,
that, I recognized a good amount of the bands, but they're not really in my rotation.
there's also the Last Dinner Party released their debut record this past summer. So if you don't know who they are, if you like, you know, Panic at the Disco's first album, and you like want a female queen, this is pretty much it. I'll give my flowers to Last Dinner Party.
I love that. I will gladly check them out. Send me their Spotify links and everything after we're done with this.
I will, man.
Please
I
and
will.
thank you. Please and thank you. I will check them out and I'll give them my roses too.
Hey,
Um,
I'll give you the albums that I think are no skips for real. Like, and
I trust I trust I trust your music tapes.
you'll probably hear a lot of the references that we made. You're like, damn.
Damn, Weneme is really ripping them off. Anyway,
Hey, plagiarizing at its finest.
yeah, plagiarizing. It's not illegal. It's just a little
It's
bit
frowned
just on
upon.
the
It's frowned
edge.
upon. It's a
That's just
moral
frowned upon.
it's a moral dilemma. What can I say?
Yeah, what can you say? But on another note of that, I mean, with artists and music, and obviously you listen to a lot of music by the sounds of it. Um, what are some of your favorite things to pass the time with, man? Like,
Ooh, so I just recently this I don't know how to word it. Just recently rediscovered gaming, I guess. Not really doing like a lot of multiplayer stuff anymore. I'm getting tired of being absolutely destroyed by children on the internet.
yeah,
Um,
fuck
so
Fortnite.
I'm okay at Fortnite. I'm okay. I've haven't I'm retired happily for like the eighth time. But no,
Yeah,
so I game. I just recently picked up Astrobot for the PS5, and it's a if you like PlayStation, Sony exclusives, and just gaming in general, because there's a lot of like references to everything. It is a fun pickup. Um, and then I've been playing a lot of PlayStation 3 games, trying to get like I achievement hunt, try to get everything. I try to like absolutely beat the game because resale prices on video games, like fuck, I gotta do it. Or else I feel like I'm just wasting money at that point. Besides, obviously music, I'm very much a gym rat. So either I'm on the basketball court, in the weight room, or me and Seth, we do a lot of rock climbing. Indoor rock climbing, we're not absolute we're not insane and go to climbing sites. Like there's some people that you just look at them like they're just shredded, like made out of statue material. Like so we're definitely still beginners with rock climbing. Seth is better than me at rock climbing. He's quite small. Um so he can climb quicker and better. And then we bowl a lot of times, and also we do wii bowling as well. That's more competitive than it is in real life. We root for each other in real life, but when it comes to wii bowling, we fucking oh man, I fucking hate his ass. God damn,
no,
I'm
Wii bowling. Don't get me started on that shit. That shit pisses me off. I used to
it's
do that shit as a kid and it would piss me off.
so yeah. What else? What else? Honestly, just try to spend time with loved ones as much as I can because I've been very busy with music, so trying to watch like just simple like TV shows, catching up on movies, things of that nature. Just trying to take every day, you know, in make time for people that you care about can be quite challenging. And the people who are obviously going to watch this will know exactly what I'm referring to on that. Um, but yeah, just trying to still be a family person at the end of the day while trying to be a musician. So
Hey man, I think that's what we gotta. I guess as musicians, I feel that we sometimes get our minds taken away so much in our hobby, or
mm.
career, whatever, anyone has in their category for what they consider their music interests. But
Yeah,
I feel
sure.
like one thing that a lot of people kind of just lose sight of is family and spending time with them because they get so indulged in their careers and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, like especially like if you have to work a day job while trying to pursue your career, you can definitely lose track of days. Um, so again, just I try to do my best. If I'm going to go see a new movie, I gotta have someone in my life to go do it. I'm not going to do that by myself. Um,
Invite
so
me. Come on.
hey man, you're coming to Houston. You're going to see a Winnie Mae show. You're going to get the you're going to get all the experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide in the back corner and I'm just gonna be like, oh my God, I love this band. I want to see some live film, dude. Come on. We need to see some of those live shows being played like on YouTube.
Yeah, so we definitely have some plans for that next year. Hey, there you go, segue. So
Segue.
we very much understand that we do have a decent amount of fans in some hard to reach spots. Um, that are states away, so us trying to drive there or just fly all of our stuff in isn't really commercially worth to do that, especially if we're not doing like a stadium tour and we get to play for 3 hours, right? So that's just it's quite challenging. So we do have some plans to do some live music videos come 2025. um and we're mostly going to do the the hits, the singles, the When in May, Fully Blossomed, As You Would. You know, so that way people can get a grasp of who we are live in a live setting and how energetic we can be. So,
I cannot wait to see that, by the way. As one that lives retroly 3 states away, roughly, I would love to see your music live. Despite the fact that I'm hoping to come all the way out there to see a show. But
hey, if you do, man, we're gonna to everything front and back catalog, released, unreleased. We'll put out the works for you.
love you. I'm gonna just platonically marry you. How about that?
Hey, I'm down. I'm available.
You're down. Hey man, let's do it. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's overdue for you to put some live music on the YouTube channel. I'm just gonna be dead honest about that.
you know, um, the fact that we even have just one person asking for it, but there's definitely a few people that have because we have some great friends in Tennessee, Victoria and Colton. Shout out to you too. But they've definitely been dying. There's been a couple times where their schedules just slightly missed our show, and like she was crushed. So um, we definitely have a lot of people that we made promises to. So you know, we we're gonna try our best. And again, we're not gonna put out something that's bad if we deem it bad. We try to be a fan of the product first. We want to be the first ones to love it and not think to ourselves, "Oh, I could have done this differently. Oh, I could have done this. Oh, this doesn't sound good." Oh, we try to be a fan of what we do first before we put it out. So, we
Gotcha.
understand that that's a hard thing to do, but also at the same time, it's if someone's going to quote something you did or something from your project, you don't want to like cringe at it. You want to be like, yeah, no, I'm proud. I'm proud that you like it, and I love the fact you like it.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like you gotta love the product when you put it out, just because if you love it and you know it's something the audience will love as well, then you know it's gonna do well. And to be honest, I've slowly started to feel about that about my newest podcast I've been recording too. I look at all the older ones and I just cringe, and then I look at the ones I've been recording recently and I'm like, I could actually personally listen to these over and over.
I mean, yeah, and here let me break kayfabe here a little bit. Definitely seeing your growth over the last few years, and
Yeah.
seeing your passion and drive, and you're now like it's not just your passion and drive, you're now consistent. And that's something I'll say is like consistency will always beat motivation any goddamn day. Um, and now that you have a team around you, people that can support you and give you either good people to talk to, help you edit, help you promote, or just give you ideas simply as I've seen the growth and I've seen your spirits come way up. So,
Thank you.
guys, I'm definitely proud of you for that.
Hey man, I remember when I met you during one of your previous projects, and then we kind of progressed into when in May. I mean, I was a little skeptical for you, and I wasn't. I'm gonna be dead honest with you with this. I wasn't, and we've talked about this before. I wasn't the biggest fan of your music at first, and we've had this conversation. As I said, we've had this conversation,
Oh,
but not to be cheesy with the podcast name, but I feel like my love and passion for music has kind of come full circle with When in May. And I can now say they're on my daily rotation. And whenever someone asks me for a music recommendation, When in May is the first they come out of my mouth 9 times out of 10.
no, I can't say how lucky I am to even have someone do that to begin with, but no, it's no, I remember going through just, and it's the same thing with even like, our bass player in Keon, we were doing something that was different that we've like, it's not different in the fact that it hasn't been done, but it's different that we haven't done it. So, you know, definitely glad, and again, like you said, full circle, earworms. That's all I can say is this is an earworm that we try to put in people. So I'm glad you like it, and I'm extremely honored to be on the fresh reboot of Full Circle. So
Hey man, it's an honor to have you. Come on. We How long have we been trying to get an episode out with you? I think what 2 years? I met you 2 years ago, and we did our first ever interview. And now I think we're finally about to be on the episode that actually airs. It's like
yeah,
attempt number three.
this is attempt number 3. You're right. Yeah. But hey, you're not doing it by yourself anymore. You actually have help. So, the
Exactly.
process will be smoother.
Yeah, thank God. I think that's what I struggled with last time the most was not having people around me to support me in the sense of helping me get the stuff out. So thank you for being here. I just want to say that before I get to my because I know I'm going to get to my next few segments soon, and I know I'm going to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you profusely. I might throw a little bit of extra candy in there for you.
Andy.
Might put a few popsicles in the little bit special places. Anyway,
Ooh.
spicy. But that was one of my last questions that I hope to close this out with.
Okay.
Just on a little bit of a positive note. What is your most memorable moment so far in your music career?
Ooh. Um, I will say, uh, I got teary-eyed when people started like remembering the lyrics. That was probably the moment I'm like, okay, I could do this, perhaps. Or trying to still. Haven't done it yet. Um, but I'll say that, um, again, meeting some really phenomenal people, like again, like yourself,
Thank you.
being on a podcast like this, anytime that someone says, yeah, I would love to have you as a guest, it does feel really great to hear. Like, yeah, like I want you on my show. I'm like, oh shit, I want to be on your show. Um,
Shit.
so things like that definitely help. And then I would definitely say like we had our first international magazine get released about us. I believe it was either France or Germany. They kind of came out like neck and neck with each other, but the fact that I was just like, holy shit, like I can't understand what you're saying, but it seems good. No, but no, it was great. Like knowing that like okay, we're getting popular. But I will say, like, we Googled Win in May not too long ago, and we popped up as an official artist. Like, like Google itself is like Win in May is an alternative rock band. I'm like, whoa, we come up
Holy
before the
shit.
we come up before the fucking month. Like I was so happy, and then like you go to images and you just see us, and I'm like, wow, like that was cool, and like because like for me, again, I made Win in May to be I don't know, like a subsidiary of my favorite music. My favorite artist is like if I was to discover myself, if I had that opportunity to listen to my music, would I be a fan of it? That's what I kind of go into it as. So, doing silly fucking things like checking out the Spotify, the Instagram, the music, clearly. Googling them just to see like what pops up, and to know that we've crafted this image that we're proud of is fucking it's still uh it still kind of gets to me. It's like, wow, like it was a lot of hard work, and you kind of can't believe that you did something. And again, like not everybody knows who we are, and that's fine, but there's 8 billion people in the world, if I can just have a few of them to enjoy us, that's what it is. Not everyone knows my favorite bands. I know I mentioned a lot of bands that don't even have 1,000 listeners. So yeah, just trying to get a few people to bite on. And again, anytime I meet somebody who wants to buy a shirt, it's still kind of crazy. Like I keep making memorable moments. And again, to still be able to say I know most of our fans personally, and to know that like when they contact us or reach out to us, we just have a great conversation. And it's like, okay, like, hey, I'm gonna send you some demos. Hey, like since you like this, let me know what you think of this. And I know one day, if things go as planned, I will eventually lose that ability to know everyone. But um again, I know I have way more memorable moments to come.
I love that for you. I seriously do. I really do. I love that for you. I'm very happy that you've actually had moments like that because I feel like a lot of people don't have those kind of moments until like later into their careers. But I mean, I can actually like imagine, a crowd singing your lyrics back at you is just, I feel like that's a starstrucking moment, just because you're like, holy shit, like they know my song.
Yeah, and to know like you wrote something, and like that's something as well, like even like at my local mall here, like some of the employees know like, oh yeah, I met that guy because he was here trying to hand out flyers, and they became a fan of the product. So like just to have people like singing your song at you at random in public um was like, whoa. And then I actually know a guy at one of the stores, and he changed the aux and put on Cheap Red one time. I'm like, oh shucks, man, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I'm like, thank you, man.
I mean, imagine walking in the store and you just hear your like top single and you're like, holy shit, I'm in public and I hear my song.
No, like I was like, because I was listening to him, like, oh man, it's pretty good. Oh, I should have done that with Cheap Red. And then like, wait, that is Cheap Red. So yeah, that was like I
Yeah.
had that moment where I'm like, damn, this is actually kind of good. I'm like, damn. And like because when you're making it, you kind of lose like the thing of like, okay, I'm trying to make this. I'm trying to just make a song. I'm trying to make a good song. I'm just trying to make it where I think it's going to go. So you can kind of lose sight of where the song is supposed to end up. Or you may think, and trust me, like I have days where I hate my music that we released. It's weird. Like I'll just wake up in a bad mood. I'm like, man, I fucking hate Cheap Red, or man, after the breakup, that one's my worst one, or something. Like I'll just do things like that. But you're gonna be your own worst critic, and to be able to like hear it with fresh ears every so often, it feels nice.
All I gotta say, I was wondering how long it was gonna take for that phrase, that we're all our own critic, our own worst critic. I was actually wondering how long it was gonna take for that to get mentioned in this episode because I've mentioned it every single episode so far.
Hey,
And you're the one who mentioned it. It wasn't me this time. Thank God.
well, you are your own worst critic, William. Like, no
I
offense to
mean,
you.
yeah, no offense. I mean, it did. I mean, we are restarting the Full Circle podcast after all.
Hey, man, listen, you were a worm, now you're a butterfly. All right,
Exactly. I have beautiful fucking wings and they got rainbows and sunshine on them.
dude. Fuck yeah.
Fucking anyway, but
And
I'm
then
really happy. Artie, please edit a fucking rainbow on this man. Like he's just
is that gonna be the thumbnail? It's just me with the rainbow. Win, win in May.
please, please. When in May. Just no, we'll cover your fucking face with the rose and shit and put when in May under it. And then we'll have a rainbow just going over the rose. That's a video idea, Artie. Sorry, thumbnail idea. Please do it. Anyway, on another note, thank you so much for being awesome, Brett. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Again, thank you for again giving me, I guess, the ego boost to say like I helped. start the reboot to be on the reboot. And again, if this is more successful than originally, then again, I'm extremely honored. And I just hope that, you're a fan of the bands that I mentioned here. And then again, obviously, I'll be sending you all of our new stuff anytime, every time. So,
Love you, Brett. Love you so much. For those of you who are listening on Spotify, he is currently putting a heart to his face and he's shoving
thank you.
his fucking tongue in it. Yes, yes, just
Oh,
broken
there.
hearts.
No, don't break it. Don't break it. No, yeah, I'll move. You stay. I move. You stay.
Yeah,
There we go. Yeah,
close enough.
close
Close enough.
enough.
We
She'll
tried
edit it.
touching tips. We tried touching tips just now. Anyway, hey yo,
For those who have a premium on Spotify,
yeah.
we'll
Those of you that have premium got to hear that. Those of you who weren't, kindly
just
did not.
you paid to hear that. Yeah,
Yeah, you paid to hear that. Um, but yeah, I just want to say thank you again for being on my show today. I can't express my gratitude enough for you for being here for me over the last couple of years, all the way back from a couple of years back. You gave me a shot, and can't say that that's probably one of my favorite podcasts ever recorded. Was the first one we ever did. It will never surface the light of day, by the way, to anyone who is wondering. Um,
oh, hey, no, maybe one day, but
maybe one day, maybe when in May, not when in May. Sorry, no. When the Full Circle podcast and Brett Fitzpatrick get big enough, we will gladly put it on our YouTube Premium subscription. That is going to be $10.99 a month because that's how much it's worth to me.
fucking love it.
Fucking love it. But yeah, I want to thank you again, my friend, for being here for me for all this time and being one of the inspirations on why I restarted this in the first place. I just want to I just want to ego boost you for that one just there. I guarantee you I would not actually have restarted this if it wasn't for your support and love. And I just want to say thank you for the 10 bajillionth time
Of
that
course.
you are, you may not realize it, but you are probably one of my biggest inspirations to this point, at least in the small artist world.
That really means a lot to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome. But on another note, Brett, do you have any positive notes that you want to finish this podcast off with?
Yeah, I'm gonna self promote here for a little bit. Um, Keep an eye out. In late October, we're gonna be having two singles drop. Living in a Dream Simulation, followed by Repeat Yesterday. Um, I don't know how to describe living in a dream simulation, but it's very whimsical, uh, very like big movie sound feel, and then Repeat Yesterday sounds like you're slipping into madness. So yeah, if you like, weird stuff like that, come check us out. And if you're in the Houston area, feel free to maybe perhaps check out some of the smaller bands that we mentioned here in the podcast. And maybe follow us on Instagram at When in May Band. You can find us on YouTube at just When in May, Facebook, When in May, and yeah,
On another note, just for the sake of handles on finding us, all of our Instagram handles will be below our names here, our faces, our beautiful
what?
faces down here. You can find
What?
me, Full Circle Podcast,
Afford
FCP
that?
Liam.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? It's not like I pay a fucking editor for this
Do you
shit.
think we can afford this shit? Holy shit! Holy shit!
But yes, Brett's lovely Instagram handle will be below as well. When and May's will be there as well. Right down there. It's gonna be right down there. Mine's gonna be right here. Full Circle Podcast, FCP Liam. Check us all out. All four pages that will be linked below the names. Please check them all out. Four of them. And yeah, regardless of what day, time, or it may be for you, if it's morning, night, or even midday, or if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. Uh, I hope you have a good rest of your day, or what, as I said, whatever time of day. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And with that, this is Liam from the Full Circle Podcast and Brett from When in May jumping off.